dirty apartment with mice in it.
What mice? You idiot. What mice? All the places I live, you have seen a bathroom like this, where you have the moles, the germs, that black, that I don't know what it is in the bathroom. Totally where have you seen it?
What's going on, people? We are back again with another Moving Mad video, and this one right here is all about Jasmine and Gino. And you know what though? Just imagine this. Just imagine that your partner has just moved in for the very first time, okay? And straight away your partner's having a reaction to something that has happened in your home. Are you A, going to try and find the solution to fix it to make sure it doesn't happen again? Or two, are you going to try and throw them under the bus and say, well, you came from something worse? I know for me, I'm going A, because why would I not want to reassure my partner that, hey, do you know what, okay, we're going to get this fixed, we're going to get this covered, especially if I know that my partner has moved all the way from another country to be with me where I live. Then that means I've got to do everything possible to make sure that my home is her home. I've got to make sure I do everything possible to make sure my home is as comfortable as possible for her. Because at the end of the day, I can't allow it to continue being my home, because now it is no longer my home. It is now our home. So therefore, I'm going to make sure I do anything possible to make sure that she's comfortable as hell. But with Gino now, instead of giving her reassurance, instead of making Jasmine feel comfortable, he would rather just go for a low blow. Well, you came from a house with mice and all this kind of stuff. Really? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Gino, but wasn't you paying $3K for her to stay in a luxury apartment? So I don't know what her situation was before that $3K apartment. I don't know what situation was, you know, in that time in general. But if we kind of look at the standard that Jasmine lives at, you know, the standard she lives at, not in terms of expenses, but in terms of cleanness, you know, in terms of always trying to improve something, you know, about herself or whatnot. Will she really come from a home that, well, isn't clean, that isn't well looked after? And even if the home has mice in it, it doesn't necessarily mean that the house isn't clean. Sometimes it could just be where you live, right? Sometimes it could be your neighbor. Because I know back in the day when I was younger, my neighbors, because their house wasn't clean, it was dirty, it was never tidy, there was food everywhere. Mice then started to come into their home. And because of that, the mice then would creep into my house as well as the other house, because obviously these houses were attached. So just because she may or may not have mice, it doesn't mean that she came from a home that wasn't well looked after. So that shows you how small his mind is. But again, the most important thing is that instead of reassuring Jasmine that, hey, I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen again, what does he do? He rather take a low blow, and then also on top of that, he'll then add more injury to insult in this way.
Buy a new pillow. Is it that expensive? I'm not asking you to
pillows,
throw the whole bed,
okay.
just the pillow.
Fine.
Okay,
I never had
baby, new blankets. That's all I'm asking for. If we get a new set of blankets, of sheets.
Can you imagine that your partner asks you to buy a new pillow? And your answer is no. And then your answer is actually, yes, I'll buy you a pillow, but I won't buy myself a new pillow. Are we really having a conversation about pillows? A disagreement about pillows? A complication about pillows? Pillows aren't even that expensive, you know, or depending on what quality you want to buy, they're not that expensive. If you're looking for a certain quality, yes, they can be expensive, right? Completely understand that. But this is a pillow. He has spent more money on her on other things. A pillow should be light work to him. Fair enough, he left his job, but that was his fault. No one asked him to do it. That's something that he made on his own accord. So that is on him for doing that. So you can't use it as an excuse because you left your job, but you didn't even know if your home was going to be suitable for your woman, but you also knew that your woman was a very picky person. So therefore you should have known that she was going to look to change things. But this is evidence that Gino has never lived with a woman before. I don't believe so. Apart from maybe his mom or siblings or whatever, this guy has never lived with a woman that he's intimate with. And if he has, wow, I can't imagine what that life was like. Because goddamn, they must have been living legit just like separate. Now I know, of course, he's been in a relationship before, so yeah, he probably did live with a woman. But from my experiences, when you live with a woman, you've got to definitely do what you can to make sure that she feels like your home is her home, and therefore it is our home. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, that is just no-brainer. That wasn't the word. What? No-brainer. You get my point, right? Okay. But honestly, the fact that Gino's fussing about a pillow and then he thinks, and this is the craziest thing about it, he says that I'll get you a pillow, but not me a pillow. Does he not realize that if she's allergic to anything in his home because he hasn't maybe kept it clean enough or whatever, does he not realize that even if he buys her pillow but keeps his pillow, whatever it could be, maybe it can still be transferred from his pillow to her pillow? why the hell am I talking about a pillow situation so deep right now? Can you imagine I'm talking about a pillow so deep right now? But to be fair, that is the reality though. You know, if you're going to change bedding, you have to change all of it. You can't just change half of it. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But hey, I never thought this would actually be a genuine conversation. Goddamn, yeah. But hey, we continue.
I feel bad because you can never take time back. Once he gets impatient or starts to believe that I abandoned him, up this kid, you know, that I'm responsible for, and he's so good, and I feel so that I don't deserve him.
I'm really happy we was actually able to finally see Jasmine be emotional for something that actually matters. Not to say that Gino doesn't matter, but for her children, you know what I mean? And I like the fact that she's worried about the fact that if she's gone for too long, and if the visa takes too long, that her son may start to create a resentment. He may start to think that maybe my mum ran away and she's not coming back, you know what I mean? I like to see her in this light because obviously it shows that, you know, something that I feel like some of us kind of felt. And I feel like because we've kept seeing it come on the show so many times and we never really heard her talk about her children, it was becoming a bit of a concern whether or not Jasmine was in a position where she really gave a damn about them, because we've seen other people before in the past move from another country, usually from South America somewhere, move to America, and then their kids become completely oblivious. Well, at least that's how it looks anyway, when you're looking at people like Larissa or whatever, right? So obviously to see actually get emotional about it and speak about it from the heart, it's a very key thing, but then at least we know that her priorities haven't completely gone AWOL, you know what I mean? Her priorities are still in the right place, and that trying to get her son to the United States of America is something that needs to happen, you know, as quick as possible. So therefore, there isn't the resentment. And also, like she said before, time is something that we can't take back. You know what I mean? There's going to be, it could be literally up to a year. We don't know. But within that time, she's going to miss out on her son growing, miss out on her son doing certain things. And also at the same time, the son's going to miss out on his relationship with his mother, which is also another key factor too. But I think when you look at it this way, this is why it's even more and more important that Gino does what he can to make sure that he allows Jasmine to feel a home as much as possible, because the home that she's creating is not a home for just her and Gino. It's a home that her son's going to come into as well, do you see what I'm saying? Which is always going to be key as well. So that's another thing that Gino has to put into place. He needs to put in place that his financial responsibility isn't just for Jasmine, it's also for her son. And that is a position that he has put himself in. He's put himself in a position where he's more than happy to be financially responsible for Jasmine, right? Which means it's also for her children as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So while he's too busy out here having a whole hissy fit or being petty about a freaking pillow and all that kind of stuff, what he should be really thinking about is, do you know what? If babe needs a new pillow and we need to get a new bed, okay, we'll do that, okay? If babe wants this done, okay, we'll do that. Obviously within certain reasons, of course, you see what I'm saying? But he has to understand that the home that Jasmine's probably trying to create isn't just a home for herself, but it's also home for her son as well. At least I'd like to think that based on this scene. Before this scene, I would have been like, she's just trying to make a home for herself, blah, blah, blah. Which again, wouldn't necessarily have been a bad thing, because at the end of the day, men are the ones that build a home, but men are the ones that build a house, but women are the ones that make it a home. You know what I mean? That's just protocol, you know what I'm saying, okay? But that's not to say that reason the men out there who can't make a home into a home, you know what I mean? I just know that I'm not one of those men that can make a house into a home, to be honest with you. I'm just basic. Give me a TV, give me a computer, give me a PlayStation, give me a bed, give me a sofa, I'm good. Decorations I could care less about, but that's where women come in place, you know what I mean? So yeah, there is that aspect as well. But either way though, again, very good to see Jasmine being vulnerable for something that matters more than the usual things that she's vulnerable about. Let's just put it that way. But either way though, you guys let me know exactly what you're thinking down below and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.